Hello everyone, in this video we'll continue to provide a training course in AWS certificate on Generative AI Developer Professional, where in this video we'll focus on the AI and machine learning services supporting the generative AI applications in AWS Cloud. So we'll start with Amazon Comprehend. Actually, as you can see in the diagram, Comprehend is used for natural language processing. It's used for extracting insights from text. It does sentiment analysis, entity recognition, key phrase extraction, language detection, and topic modeling. It's a managed service, so you just send the text and get a structured results back. So as you can see in the diagram, you send the documents to Amazon Comprehend and you get a classified content in terms of entities by document classification, language, key phrases, sentiment, topics, syntax. So actually sentiment analysis tells you if text is positive, negative, neutral, or mixed. Entity recognition identifies people, places, organizations, dates, and other entities from the documents. Key phrase extraction pulls out the important phrases. Language detection identifies which language the text is in. You can train custom models for entity recognition and classification. If you need to identify domain-specific entities like product codes or the internet terminology for the medical field, for example, you provide training data and comprehend builds a custom model. The use case for generative AI application is used for pre-processing or validation. You might use Comprehend to analyze user input before sending it to a foundation model or extract entities from foundation model generated text for structured storage in a structured database. Next, to talk about Amazon Kendra. Kendra is an intelligent search engine. It understands natural language queries and returns relevant results from your documents. It is similar to Bedrock Knowledge Bases but predates it and has some different capabilities actually. Kendra indexes your documents stored in S3, SharePoint, Salesforce, databases, and builds a search index. Users ask questions in natural language, and Kendra returns relevant passages with confidence scores. You un- it understands synonyms, context, and can handle questions that don't match the exact wording in your documents. Actually, the difference between Kendra and a Bedrock Knowledge Bases is that Kendra is primarily a search service. It returns relevant results. But Bedrock Knowledge Bases is designed for RAG. It retrieves passages and feeds them to a foundation model to generate answers. You can use Kendra as the retrieval component in RAG architecture, but knowledge base is purpose built for that workflow actually. Kendra include features like faceted search, custom ranking, query suggestion. It is more of a traditional search engine enhanced with machine learning, whereas Bedrock knowledge bases is specifically designed for generative AI applications. Next, talk about Amazon Lex. Lex actually is used for building conversational interfaces, chatbots, and voice bots. It handles natural language understanding, dialogue management, and the integration with messaging platforms. It is what powers Amazon Alexa. You define intents, what user want to do, utterances, how they might say it, and slots parameters to collect. Lex handles the conversation flow, asks follow-up questions to collect required information from human, and calls your backend, like in Lambda functions, to fulfill requests for the end users. For generative AI applications, Lex can be the conversational interface layer. You would use Lex to handle dialog component and slot filling. Then call Bedrock for your generative AI application to generate responses. Lex is better at structured conversations with specific intents. Foundation models are better at open-ended conversations. You might use both Lex for the initial intent classification and the slot collection, then hand off to a foundation model for the actual response generation. This gives you the structure of Lex with the flexibility of generative AI services provided in AWS Cloud. Next, we talk about Amazon Recognition. Recognition is for image and video analysis. It does object detection, facial analysis, text extraction from images, content moderation, custom label detection. You send an image or video, and the recognition returns structured data about what it finds in that source. But for generative AI application, recognition is useful for pre-processing visual content before sending it to a multimodal foundation models. You might use recognition to detect inappropriate content, extract text from images, or identify objects before generating descriptions. Custom labels let you train recognition to identify domain-specific objects. If you need to detect your company's products, equipment, or other specific items, you might provide training images and recognition builds a custom model. Content moderation is particularly relevant for generative AI applications. You can use recognition to scan user uploaded images for inappropriate content before processing them with the foundation models. Next, we talk about Amazon TextTract. TextTract extracts text and data from documents. Documents like PDFs, images, scanned forms, tables. It does beyond a simple OCR by understanding document structure, identifying form fields, and extracting table data. The key features are text extraction, form extraction, table extraction. Text extraction gets all the text from documents. Form extraction identifies key value pairs like name is John Smith, for example. Table extraction preserves table structure and the relationship between rows and columns in the table. For generative AI application, TextTract is a pre-processing step for document analysis. You use TextTract to extract structured data from documents. Then send that data to foundation model for analysis, summarization, or question answering. The difference between TextTract and Amazon Bedrock data automation is that TextTract extracts what is there. It identifies forms and tables but doesn't understand the semantic meaning. But Bedrock data automation uses foundation models to understand the context and extract the information based on natural language descriptions using semantics. Next, we'll talk about Amazon Transcript. Transcript converts speech to text. It supports multiple languages, speaker identification, custom vocabulary, and automatic punctuation. You send audio files or streams, and the transcribe returns text transcripts. For generative AI applications, transcribe is the input layer for voice-based applications. Use transcribe to convert speech to text, then send that text to foundation models for processing. This enables voice-based chatbots. meeting summarization, or voice controlled applications. Custom vocabulary lets you improve accuracy for domain specific terms. If your application deals with medical terminology, for example, technical jargon, or product names, you can provide a custom vocabulary to improve transcription accuracy. Speaker identification labels who said what in multi-speaker audio. This is useful for meeting transcripts or custom service calls where you need to distinguish between speakers. Next, we'll talk about Amazon Augmented AI, A2I. Amazon Augmented AI or A2I is for human review workflows. When your machine learning models, including foundation models, produce low confidence results, A2I routes those results to humans for review. The human feedback can be used to improve models over time. You define review workflows, specify confidence thresholds, and configure a worker pools like from Amazon Mechanical Turk or private workforce or vendor companies. When a prediction falls below the confidence thresholds, it gets sent for human review. For generative AI applications, A2I is useful for quality control. You might route foundation model generated content to humans for review before it is published, or have humans validate extracted data from documents. This is particularly important in regulated industries where you need humans oversight. A2I integrates with extract, recognition, and the custom models. You can also use it with Amazon Bedrock, route low confidence fusion model responses to humans for review and correction. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like the content. If you have any question, please comment on the video and please subscribe to my channel so that you can get notified of any new video we'll provide on the channel. Thank you again.